Hey everyone, welcome back to another On the Sensors production. Majo here. I've got a special spoiler edition for you all today. So bringing you some TCI spoilers. So just a reminder, TCI is the Coruscant Initiative. So they are another fan-made group to help support the continuation of Star Wars Destiny. And just a quick, reminder, TCI operates completely, in parallel, independent of ARH. TCI is a different group, so for those who may like a slightly different flavor for Star Wars Destiny and want to try some different things, TCI is a separate group where you can absolutely try some new stuff. So got some very exciting spoilers for you all today. So just a quick reminder, a couple of housekeeping things here. The TCI website, you can find that at www.coruscant-initiative.org. So I'm showing that here. And if you guys remember, TCI came out with their very first set, Eternal Conflict, back in early 2021. So they also then came out with sort of a mini set back on May 4th this year. And that was sort of focused on the Clone Wars. So that was a nice little mini set, and you guys can find those cards and dice sticker sheets, everything you might possibly need to play with the TCI stuff out on their website. But of course, we're here today to talk about Altered Paths. This is the TCI set, the new set coming out in November of this year. So not exactly sure on the precise launch day, but we know for sure it is coming November 2021. So I'm here today to show off some of the spoilers we were given by our friends over at TCI. So big shout out to Drac, who designs for TCI, and of course he's a member of On the Sensors, part of our admin crew. So wanted to show some love today and show off some of these awesome new spoilers. So in keeping with our tradition, we've got one event, one upgrade, and one character. So we'll go in that order. So let's start with the event. So we have, and we will be flashing it up on the screen right about now. It's called Old Acquaintances. So this is a Red Hero one cost event. And it says reduce the cost of this event by 1 if you spot an Altered Paths Red Hero character. So that should be pretty easy to accomplish that spot requirement. Little hint there. So the character will be spoiling here in just a few minutes. So basically, that you want to be playing this for 0. That's ideal. That is optimal. So you're probably not including this card in your deck unless you know for sure you're going to have an Altered Paths or Red Hero character in your deck. So then you choose a character. If that character shares a subtype with one of your other characters, you may turn or remove one of its character or upgrade dice. So this is interesting. So this could be, this could be a way for you to focus your own dice, right? So let's say you have 2 characters, or maybe even 3 characters on your team and your squad who share a subtype. At least 2 of those 3 would need to share a subtype. You could then play this card to turn one of your own character's character or upgrade dice. And I love that it hits upgrade dice. Not a lot of cards, well, I don't want to say not a lot, but not every card hits character and upgrade dice, but it's always, the utility of a card that can hit upgrade dice. I love that. So if you can fulfill the spot requirement within your own squad, you can turn some of your own dice, right, in your own pool. However, a lot of times your opponent, just based on the meta, based on people trying, all the new stuff that's come out, they're probably going to share one of their characters is very likely to share a subtype with one of your characters, right? And it doesn't say choose one of your characters. It says choose a character. So choose a character. I could choose one of mine. I can choose one of yours. If that character shares a subtype with one of mine, then I can turn that character's dice, right? So, or I could remove it, right? So there's this piece here. You might wonder, well, why did they say turn or remove? I think that's because you could actually use this as removal. So that's a great, and that could be a 0 cost removal option. So very cool. I like this. Old Acquaintances. All right, next up, let's look at the upgrade. So we've got a Red Hero 2 cost upgrade Undercover. So for those who are fans of the Star Wars Rebels animated series, you will know which character in this image is undercover. I won't spoil it if you don't know. Um, Hint, it's not Thrawn. So this is a pretty cool card. We've got some interesting symbols here. So you may not be familiar with these. Basically, we've got a 2 indirect side, a 2 indirect for 1 indirect, 2 focus for 1 indirect, 2 shield for 1 indirect, and a money and a blank. So just so you guys know, these symbols mean that in order to resolve that side of the die, you have to deal yourself 1 indirect damage. So, we're all used to sort of seeing a resource cost on here, but this is actually to pay the cost to resolve that side, you have to hit yourself for 1 indirect. So, not too bad. Pretty, I think pretty affordable. So let's get into the text here. After you play this upgrade, you may turn an opponent's die to a side not showing a blank. So that's interesting. I think that may have some synergy with the character we're going to spoil here in just a second. So we'll think about that. It does have a power action. Reveal a random card from an opponent's hand. You may deal 1 indirect damage to yourself to discard that card. So, I like this upgrade. It's sort of like a like a millish hand disruption type of an upgrade, but also a support style upgrade. I like it. It's got some shields, a little bit of damage, right? If you need it in a pinch, a resource side, and a shield side. So I really like that power action. You're getting to look at a random card from an opponent's hand, um, and you could potentially discard that. So I feel like when this card hits the table, opponents might. It's sort of a mind game, right? They don't know when you're going to use that PA, so they're probably going to want to be playing their critical card for that turn or that round as soon as possible, and that might disrupt their sequencing. So I really like this. This is pretty neat. The on play ability. A lot of times there's a lot of on play abilities. Well, not a lot, but you've got Neiman, right? You can turn a character or upgrade die to any side. A lot of times, if you're playing Neiman defensively, you turn one of your opponent's dice to a blank. So this one says you can't turn it to a side showing a blank, so you might turn it to any other side that you feel like is least threatening to you. So that's really interesting. And actually, I'm going to use this to transition over to the character. So we'll come back to this undercover because I feel like there might be some synergy with the character we're about to spoil. So next we've got Bodhi Rook, Rebel Informant. He is a 10-13 red hero character. Character Scoundrel Pilot. So some pretty awesome subtypes there, right? Between Scoundrel and Pilot, and he's got piloting. So this guy's got a lot going on here. A very interesting power action. So each player loses 1 resource, discards a card from their hand, deals 1 indirect damage to themselves, and removes 1 of their dice. So that's pretty brutal. You're probably going to want to use that when the majority of those things won't affect you. So if you have no money, if you don't have any dice in your pool, you're probably going to have cards in hand still, right? And you can't avoid the indirect damage. But if you've got no dice in your pool and no money, that's probably a good time to be using this power action, right? Because you're going to force your opponent to basically have to inflict themselves with all those negative effects. And similar to Undercover, I love the mind games with this, right? When Bodhi Rook is on the table, you could do this at any moment, right? You probably want to do it, like I said, when it's going to affect you least, right? So there's like that disproportionate effect where it doesn't affect you as badly as it will affect your opponent based on, like I said, you want to probably use this when you have no money, no dice in your own pool. But again, you could use it at any time, so your opponent has no idea when it's coming. They just know you have the option to use it. And so the mind games, right? Do they want to resolve their dice showing a resource when they just know you could pop this, make them lose it? Pretty cool. The other thing, and so this is what I was hinting at, I feel like there's an interesting interaction with Undercover and Bodhi, right? So when you play Undercover, it says after you play this upgrade, you may turn an opponent's die to a side not showing a blank, so turn it to a resource. Turn one of their most threatening dice to a side showing a resource, right? Tempt them to resolve it. If they resolve it, bam, then you PA Bodhi, they lose it anyway, right? So they've just sort of wasted that action of resolving that die showing a resource. So pretty interesting. I really like this. And I love this flavor text. What's your call sign, pilot? Rogue. Rogue One. So yeah, so obviously Bodhi is from Rogue One. He was definitely one of the big heroes of the sort of the final act of that movie when they get to Scarif. Um, yeah, so some really cool stuff here from TCI. Again, these three cards will be coming out in November in the new TCI set called Altered Paths. So yeah, definitely check out their website. Check out the some of the articles out here. If you would like to get your hands on the cards, I do know that Aegis here in the U.S. is a sort of a certified printer of those, as well as producing the dice and stickers and all that good stuff. So you can get in contact if you'd like to have those physical, have that physical play experience. TCI does have a Discord as well. We can put that in the description. So yeah, thanks again to Drac and the TCI guys for giving us these spoilers today. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments. Do encourage you to join the TCI Discord. They have a Facebook page. They've got all kinds of good stuff out there. And again, we've got multiple continuation committees. For better or for worse, that's just the reality. And if you have, different tastes, if you like different flavors, you can always choose ARH. You can always choose TCI, right? It's nice to have options. So yeah, I think with that, we'll go ahead and close out. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, please leave us some comments and feedback below and let us know what you think. So Majo here again from On the Sensors, and we'll catch you guys next time. Take care.